A heated crowd tonight as Representative Byrne hosted a jam-packed town hall meeting in the Port City.
Yeah, it was a chance for concerned residents to talk about a number of issues surrounding Washington.
That's right. We have Representative Byrne in the studio right now to give his take on tonight's town hall meeting. I'll be talking to him in a moment.
But first, we want to go to Fox News reporter Lee Peck, who was in the room as many people were voicing their concerns. Lee, things got heated pretty fast.
It did, Bob and Lenise. This was Congressman Byrne's 76th town hall meeting since taking office, and I would say it's probably one of the more well-attended. There were critics and supporters here tonight. It really took a chaotic turn at times. Congressman Byrne having to speak over some of the constituents, play mediator, and really just illustrating that a lot of people are very divided over the major issues in our country at this time. Take a look. In his first town hall since President Trump took office, Congressman Byrne was quick to set the ground rules.
We need to all respect one another. Everybody's opinion is important.
It didn't take long for tempers to flare and that rule to be ignored.
Let me finish what I'm about to say.
Thank you, Bob, for all this.
Let's speak in time. Let's speak in time. All right, everybody, calm down. Just let him finish with what she's saying.
Mobile police on hand to get the situation under control.
He was in your catcalling. He was catcalling the entire time. You tell him. The media is right.
There were some serious questions about health care.
Telly, who's going to be 2 at the end of the month, and Telly has cystic fibrosis.
This family concerned repealing and replacing the Affordable Care Act would compromise coverage for their son.
Will you promise me tonight that you will not vote in favor of any legislation that would allow insurance companies to once again discriminate based on pre-existing conditions and impose annual and lifetime limits on care?
I understand that the health care plan was released earlier today. That's correct. And so you can go see for yourself. If you presently have insurance and you continue to pay your premiums, they cannot cancel you. That will be the law of the United States of America when that bill is passed.
President Trump's revised immigration ban also a hot topic.
You know, I'm not a literalist. I think Scripture demands interpretation, but there is one thing that is very clear in both the Jewish tradition of Hebrew Scripture and in the New Testament, and that is that we welcome the immigrant.
Yes.
Then there's Russia, and who's to blame?
This question about what's going on with Russia has nothing to do with Trump. It has everything to do with what Obama has done.
Remember, we respect the last 8 years are over. It's over, and we've got to deal with the foreign policy and the defense of the United States going forward. And Russia is a threat to the United States of America, and we need to stand up against that threat.
The town hall lasted for a little over an hour. Other issues being brought up tonight: education, the environment when it deals with the EPA, but really not a lot of discussion on the Affordable Care Act, the repeal and replacement of that. Some people leaving tonight feeling they wanted more questions about that and more answers. You'll hear their concerns coming up in our 10 o'clock half hour. Reporting live in Mobile, Lee Peck, Fox 10 News.
And Representative Byrne was put on the spot by many of you tonight, and he joins us now in the studio with more on that town hall meeting. First, thanks for coming in. I know you've got an early flight to go back to Washington tomorrow. Right. There was a lot of anger out there tonight.
There's a lot of anger in America right now. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten over the election. I'm disappointed in that. But I still have an obligation to be able to be available to the people I represent. I've done 75 town hall meetings before tonight. We'll do several more during the month of April, by the way. So we're going to continue to go out there and not just talk to people, but listen to people, because a lot of people just want to be heard.
What is your takeaway from what you heard tonight?
There are people that don't necessarily represent a majority of the people in this area, but there are people who feel strongly enough to come out and voice really heartfelt concerns, and I do believe they're heartfelt, that something very negative is happening to the country. I don't agree with that, but I think it's important that people that feel that way have an opportunity to express that to the person that represents them in Washington.
What about the folks who got up and clearly they were out to make a speech rather than ask a question? And I got the sense that with some of them, they really didn't care what you were going to say. They pretty much, that was it. They made up their mind. How do you reach those kind of people?
Well, you don't necessarily, quote, reach them, close quote. You listen to them. You tell them, I care enough about you to hear you. That doesn't mean that my mind can't be changed on issues. It can be. It has been. But some of those people there tonight really just wanted to express themselves, get it off their chest, because they've been feeling bad for a couple of months since the election, and this is the closest thing they've got to be able to speak directly to the government. And that's the value of town halls. That's why we do them.
What kind of feedback did you get from any of the people after the meeting, for example?
We've got a lot of feedback, as a matter of fact. A lot of people have contacted us on social media, and even when they disagree with us, they said they appreciated the fact that we came out and that we listened. And I got to tell you, I thought it was a very positive event. I know that there was some venting going on there and people were pretty upset, but I think it's important for people like me to be there and listen to that. And as I say, that doesn't mean that my mind can never be changed, and I learn from everything. So this was a good event for me tonight. I'm glad I did it. We're going to do more.
We have a new Attorney General who used to be Senator in the state of Alabama, Jeff Sessions from Mobile. How do you think he's doing so far?
I think he's doing very well. A lot of people around the country didn't know Jeff Sessions before this, and they're going to get to know somebody who was a very effective prosecutor here in Mobile. And they're going to see him as the Attorney General of the United States truly enforce the law across the board. So I'm very proud to call him as a friend. I'm very proud he's the Attorney General of the United States.
And you think he can stand up to President Trump if he had to?
Look, if he can take on all those local public officials that he prosecuted successfully in the 80s, if he can take on the Ku Klux Klan, he'll stand up when he needs to when it's right.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Congressman Byrne, for coming in. We appreciate that. Back to you.